guys, welcome back to this week's video. Today, since it's the beginning of April, I wanted to go over my month of March. March was my first full month reselling and I'm really happy with how it went. So I want to go over all of my numbers. So I'm going to go over my total sales, my cost of goods for those sales, my profit for the month, and a couple of other numbers that my spreadsheet tracks for me. So we'll dive into that in a second, and then after that I want to go over some of my best and worst sales. I'll start with 5 of my worst sales, and then I have 10 sales that I was really happy about. So overall, March was really encouraging that it is possible to reach the goals that I have. I can definitely improve a lot. I made a lot of mistakes, and I'm really happy that I've been tracking this information so that I can see where I want to go this month and in future months. So I have my spreadsheet here right in front of me. If I'm not looking at the camera, that's where I'm looking if you can't see the laptop here. So my total sales for the month of March were $2,838. So not far off of the $3,000 mark, which is pretty cool, considering that my total sales for the month of February were $432. So huge leap there. I did start my closet on February 9th. That's the first day I listed an item, and also happened to be the first day that I sold an item. I was really lucky, or also really dumb, that I way underpriced an item and it got snatched up as soon as I listed it, which was really encouraging, but also made me very impatient when I made a sale within a couple of hours of listing and kind of expected that everything would go that quickly. I started about a week into February and then have continued strong through March. About halfway through March, I did change my strategy a little bit. Rather than trying to source items for $1 or $2 a piece and sell them for a profit under $20, I have been paying up for items, so definitely paying a lot more. My average cost of goods went from $7.65 in February to $19.20 in March, which is a lot, and I would like to see that number decrease as much as possible while my profit increases, obviously. But for my first month trying out the model of the higher average sales price, I'm pretty happy with how that went. So total sales in March were a little over $2,800. My total profit for March was $1,243, which made my profit margin about 44%, which doesn't feel too bad considering that I was paying up for items. I did some retail arbitrage, a lot of online sourcing, and for my first month, I feel like those numbers are pretty good. I definitely want to try to increase that margin, but actually pretty happy with where it's sitting right now. I had 51 sales in the month of March, which, considering that I've heard it's reasonable to expect about 1% of your closet to sell per day, this is phenomenal. I was just never able to get above 85 active listings at a time because I haven't sourced enough inventory to have a money pile yet. So I've been kind of listing items as I purchase them, and they have been selling fairly quickly. My sell-through rate was 89.5%, which I'm still learning what all these numbers mean, but I have a hunch that that's pretty good, and I'd like to keep that up. It's been kind of amazing to be selling as many items in a week as I'm listing. And I definitely want to increase my number of active listings, so I'm going to start listing a couple more items per day and see how that goes. But it's not a bad problem to have. If the sales are still coming even though my closet is pretty small, I'm definitely not mad about that. Now on to what sold in the month of March. In February, I only had one item that sold for more than a $20 profit, and I had a lot more in March, which is good because this would not be sustainable if I was just working on $6 profits all the time. But first, I do want to go over some of those bad sales. So the first one I want to talk about is a pair of shoes that I found at TJ Maxx. Being the newbie that I am, I didn't realize they were a diffusion brand of Dolce Vita. I thought they were the actual Dolce Vita brand, and that I had scored a pair of shoes that are still listed on their website for quite a bit of money. I think I paid like $29 for them. Got them home, photographed them, listed them, and then realized that they were the DV by Dolce Vita brand, and had to changed the description and the price. I did end up selling about 5 days later, and I made a 40-cent profit on them. Ultimately, I decided just to keep them listed because it was less hassle for me to sell them than to return them to the store, and they were actually getting quite a bit of activity on Poshmark. So maybe I could have sold them for more, but I didn't really feel like it was worth it, and I just wanted to get rid of them because I realized that I had made a very bad retail arbitrage purchase. My next horrible sale was one of the first things that I purchased back when I started my closet. I went to Goodwill and found this Urban Outfitters sweater for, I think I paid $6 or $7 for it, which now I just think is absolutely ridiculous because it was kind of worn, and Urban Outfitters obviously isn't that great of a brand to resell, especially when you're paying $6 for an item. So this did sell. It took 43 days, and I think I sold it on an offer for $12, making my profit 33 cents. Again, just made my money back, got rid of it. Bad buy. I found this new with tags Free People Intimate sequin dress at a buy sell trade store and was excited about it because it was new with tags and sequined, which I feel like sequin dresses are selling pretty well, at least from other brands. So I paid way too much for this, which is where the problem lies. I paid $20 for it because it was new with tags, and I got a lot of activity on it, but obviously nobody paid what I had originally listed it for, and after 3 weeks it sold for $35, making my profit $6.28, which was definitely not what I was hoping for. Again, another new with tags dress that I shouldn't have picked up. I found this Lulu's mini lace dress at Goodwill. I paid $10 for it, and I did end up selling it within a week, but again, I kind of realized that it wasn't worth very much, and so the sale price was $22, making my profit $7.60. This was my one and only eBay sale for the month of March, and it was a very basic t-shirt. Again, I bought it because it was new with tags, Anthropology. This was at a charity shop, so the cost of goods was pretty low. It was only $4, but it sold on an offer on eBay after about 3 weeks again. Sale price was $18, and I had included free shipping, so after the shipping fee, which really ate at my profit, it was about $8 to ship this item, my profit was $2.90. Now on to the sales that I'm actually happy about. We'll start at the beginning of the month and kind of walk our way through. I had a lot of sales that I was thrilled about at the end of the month, which I actually covered in last week's video somewhat. So I'll start at the beginning of the month. This was a sale on March 3rd. It was an Ili Tahari linen pencil skirt that I found at the bins. It was $1, and it sold 1 day later for $44 full price. So my profit on that was $32.48, which was really exciting and encouraging. This was my first, I think it was my first sale with a profit of over $30. So I did not expect that to sell. I was kind of putting off listing it because I couldn't find a stock photo and it didn't seem that exciting of an item, but it did sell very fast and for full price, which is amazing. The next one was one that I kind of used as an experiment. I went to a Goodwill in another city when we were on a road trip, and I found these Citizens of Humanity skinny jeans. They were also low rise, and they were marked at $20 at Goodwill, which that sounds like a horrible idea, right? But I thought I'd give it a chance. If they didn't sell, I was going to go ahead and return them. I listed them the same day. They sold the next day for $71, which made my profit $35.08 and made me want to find more Citizens of Humanity jeans. This item was actually from my personal closet, so cost of goods I put as 0, which kind of skews my profit a little bit. But it was this Beholden slip dress with the cowl neckline, and it sold 4 days after I listed it for $80. So I put my profit as $64. I can't remember what I originally paid for it. It was less than that, so I definitely made a profit. I've had this in my closet for a couple of years, worn it to a few events, and happy just to sell it and to make a bit of money off of it. This one also is from our personal closet. This was my husband's whole Han leather jacket that he got for a steal a few years ago. So he's only worn it a couple of times and didn't really foresee himself wearing it much in the future. He said I could list it and see if we got a good offer on it. If not, I would just sit on it. I wasn't going to take any low balls, but I did get an offer for $120. So after platform fees, that's $96. So that was an extra almost $100 in our bank account, and we were pretty happy to accept that offer. Again, this was from our closet. It's not an item I sourced, so it feels a little bit like cheating, but happy that that sold. It did sell within 3 days as well. These next couple of sales are really fast sales as well. Kind of my favorite. This was an item that I actually sourced from another reseller who was trying to clear out their closet before moving. This Alice and Olivia leather mini skirt. I've heard mini skirts are really hard to sell, and it was just a leather trim. It wasn't even a full leather skirt. So I didn't have high hopes for this, but it did sell within 1 day for $75, which was the full price that I listed it for. Very happy with that. My cost of goods was $30, a little bit high, but I did double my money with a profit of $30. Like I said, another fast sale. This one sold within hours of listing. This New with Tags Reformation dress that I sourced at Nordstrom Rack. It was so beautiful. I listed it for $200 and it was another full price sale. So my profit on this after cost of goods and platform fees was $75. Very happy with an overnight $75 profit. So now we're getting into the sales that I covered in my last week's video. These all were between March 26th and 28th. These were some of my best sales of the month. So the first one was the Reformation Lachlan dress that I sold on Mercari. Profit on this was $59. Another New with Tags dress I found at Nordstrom Rack. This was a Free People sequin dress. It sold for $200, making my profit $65.40. So this one is kind of interesting. I, in a former life, worked at a bridal store, so I've always loved all things bridal gowns. When I was getting married, I had my eye on the needle and thread designs. I was actually on an extended trip in Italy when I was engaged, and I would stop into the department store in Florence where I was every couple of days and look through their rack of needle and thread dresses, hoping that one of them in my size in a light color would be on clearance miraculously, and it never was. But I do love my wedding dress. It ended up being a Reformation dress. So again, another brand I love. But I found this dress on Beholden's clearance section on their site. It was originally over $800 and it was marked down to $250. So I hadn't done a lot of, I think this is my only online arbitrage purchase so far. And I was a little nervous about it because obviously it was a really big investment, but I was pretty certain it would sell. It was the last one, so there's very few out there that are available. There was one other one I saw on Poshmark that was previously worn in a size 0. It was listed at $500 and had a lot of likes. This was a size 2, New with Tags, so I had a lot of hope for it. It may have been a silly decision, and it definitely felt nerve-wracking. I actually was talking about returning this the day that it ended up selling. It did sell on Tradesy, which I only have like 7 items cross-listed over there because I just wasn't getting any activity and it didn't really feel worth it. But this sold on Tradesy after 24 days of being listed to somebody who needed it as an evening gown for a weeknight event. They messaged me right after they purchased it on Tradesy and told me that they needed it within a couple of days. So I was happy to message them back, let them know I would ship it out really quickly. And I felt so relieved that this sold at the price that it did, because I was a little bit worried that I was either going to have to accept an offer that would barely cover my cost of goods or that it would just sit, which was why I was thinking about returning it. But it sold on Tradesy for $525, so after platform fees and cost of goods, I made $145 on this item. I don't know that I would do this again because I invested $250 upfront plus tax, which made it about $265 for my cost of goods, and then making a return of only $145. I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously, it's a really good profit. It's my only profit so far, over $100. So we'll see if I try something similar again in the future. But I'm just happy that my experiment worked. It made me a good profit, and it was really fun to order a dress from Beholden and get to see it. Yeah, those needle and thread gowns are absolutely gorgeous. This is another one that I talked about last week for my 10th sale of the month. This was a Suzanne sweater that sold 5 days after listing. It sold on an offer of $121. My cost of goods was $42, and my profit was $53.08. So March was a huge learning month for me. I changed my strategy midway through the month. I'm really excited about where things are going. I am very encouraged by the numbers that I was able to achieve this month, and I'm going to keep working to hopefully have a better month in April. It's already started off really strong. Today is Tuesday the 5th, and I haven't had any sales so far today, but the last 4 days I have had good sales. So I'm pretty excited about where April's going, and I will be sure to do another video like this next month to compare my first 2 full months selling on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. Thanks so much for watching this. If you enjoyed it and this info from a very new reseller in her first month, please like the video, subscribe, all that stuff. It really helps this baby channel get out there, and I do hope to make more videos, so if you subscribe, you'll be able to see those as soon as I upload them. Hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your April as well, and I will see you next week.